Hey, Lori here with Hardworking Mom. Today we're going to be doing a snowman wreath with two 10-inch mesh. This is a kit that's in my shop. It has a red mesh, a silver, these two full rolls, so a snowman and a little fuzzy, these two ribbons, and this sign. We're going to do the ruffle method for this wreath. So if you are watching this for certain methods that are on the instructions that come with the kits, this is option 1. All right, so let's get started. I like to put these on my mesh roller because it's going to be easier for me to cut them together. I do advise that you cut these with a rotary cutter and a sharp one. So you're going to be able to tell if your rotary cutter is sharp as soon as you start cutting. If you have any resistance, if it doesn't go through pretty nicely, then your rotary cutter is dull and you need to change this blade. Okay, so we're going to cut it at 30 inches. So with this method, you could do either 20 inches or 30 inches. 30 inches is going to give you a much nicer, larger wreath. And we're going to cut 9. Once I have these cut, I'm just going to take them and set them aside for now. And I'm going to cut up my ribbon's neck. I like to cut my ribbons at 12 inches because it's going to give you a good coverage on your wreath, but it's not going to cover all the mesh. You really don't want to cover all the mesh because then you will have done it and you won't be able to see anything. So if you like a lot of ribbon, you can make your tails longer. If you don't, you can. If you want to see the entire thing, then you would do like I do and do 12 inch. You want to do 9. And you can see I'm putting these two together. It just makes it a lot faster. So just like our mesh, we're cutting 9. We'll do that twice. Okay, and I just slip it out. And we'll set this aside for the ribbon. We'll set that aside for the bow. Okay. So right where it's bent is where you're going to cut. So at the top and at the bottom. You could also use your mat to measure. This is just a much quicker way. Okay, and then I fold it over and I do half and half because it's a lot to cut 9 at one time. But I fold it in half and I cut towards the edge to get a dovetail. Just gives it a nice finished look. So now we're ready to put it together. So I like to pull my top ties inside so I won't accidentally grab them when I'm going around the bottom. And I'm going to open the bottom ties up. This will save much frustration as you're going to put your mesh on. Okay. All right. So now we're going to take 2 of our pieces. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the ruffle method. And essentially what that is you're gathering the mesh. So you're going to lay it flat on your table with the nice side up. okay? And then you're gonna use your thumbs to create a dam and just push it forward while your fingers are pulling back. And so you are just gathering it, and you see the little folds, and you're gonna put that where you folded it right on the wreath and spread that out. So you are making a bow tie, essentially, with your mesh. If you have any trouble, a really good thing is to put something heavy on the other end, which will help keep the mesh in place while you're rolling it, gathering it all the way along the edges. Okay, so we're going to put it right next to the next one we just did. Tie it off. And then we're going to take the two pieces of the mesh and just kind of go along the edge, kind of matching them together like this. And then when we let go, it's going to ruffle naturally together. And so what that does is that's going to cover all of our frame and make it look nice and full. So we're just gonna, so once we've done two, we're gonna go ahead and put the ribbons in. I like to work in pairs. So I fold it in the middle, pinch in the middle, and then kind of put my fingers under it to get a little curl. Then I will place it down, pull it out front, and I am alternating the ribbons just like we did the mesh. Okay. Now on the bottom, I'm just going to pull them out front until I'm done, and then if I want to pull them out, I will, because it's going to naturally shift this way as we go towards the top. Just saves a little time later. Okay, so we're just going to keep doing this same process all the way around. When you finish on the bottom, make sure that you ruffle both sides of the last mesh. Okay, so once we've completed the bottom, don't worry too much about the ribbons on the bottom now, because you're going to mess with those once you get the top on. Now we're going to open up the ties on the top, and we're going to do the same process on the top, except that we are going to put our ribbons crisscross instead of pulling them out. We're still going to alternate our mesh, and we're still going to do the ruffle. When you get on top, make sure that you kind of pull it and ensure that you're not squashing the bottom, because it will want to do that. Okay, so you're going to ruffle it just the same way. The difference is going to be when you put your ribbons on. So we're going to gather it in the middle just like we did on the bottom. We're still going to get that little curl. But this time, when we place it on, one, I'm going to trim off these ties. And and just kind of tuck them under. You can leave them out if you think it enhances your wreath. It's totally fine. But I'm going to crisscross it. I like to put my larger ribbon going in this direction because there is an opening there that allows it to open a little bit more. So you're going to be able to see the full ribbon on the top. Okay. I'm also going to kind of pull my ribbons a little bit inward and get a little bit of a crease so that they won't bend down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish the top. Okay, so we have completed all of the mesh in the ribbon. See how pretty that is? Look how nice and full that is. So this wreath has a 10-inch sign, which works awesome in the middle. So I really want to put this in the middle. So instead of doing a bow, we're going to do mini bows, every other one on the bottom. So you have two options, and we could actually even alternate. So usually when I'm doing a mini bow, I will do about 18 inches because we already have tails on the bottom, so it's not necessary to do the tails, we just want to do the loop. We can alternate the snowman, and we can alternate the gray. We could also do them together, so I'll show you both ways. And you can decide what you like for yours. I will show you how to make a bow as well, but I'm not going to put a bow on this wreath. So what I do is I will take this 10-inch piece of ribbon and I'm going to fold it into the center. You want to overlap a good inch, so make sure you're overlapping a good amount because you want to make sure that's not going to come loose. Then you're just going to gather it in the center, okay, just like this. And we could actually do some of these on the top so you can see it a little better. And then you can decide if you want them on the top and the bottom, or if you only want them on the bottom or only on the top. Okay. So maybe we could do snowman on the top and the gray on the bottom. Let's try that. Okay. So we overlapped, we pinch. So this is going to be every other tie. I'm just going to reopen my tie just a little bit to get the bow in there. And then I can fluff up my loops. And I can turn my loops so that they're going the direction of my tail. Okay, like this. So you see how I overlap? Then I just bend it down, tuck it in, and tie it down. So once you tie it down, you just tuck those ties right back underneath it. There we go. That is super cute. Let's cut a couple more. So 18, 18. And we're going to need to cut 3 more of this one. And I want to show you what it looks like just to do them together. Okay. So to do them together, you would take this one, put this one on top, and then you would find the center, overlap them, and put it together like this. So you can see if you do this, it's like a double bow. So you're not going to see the snowman unless you pull it out, which you could pull them out. But I generally like just one at a time unless I'm doing an actual bow. And then I will do it a little differently and put them together. Okay. Go. So I don't want to overcrowd it and try to do them in between. So I really want it every other one. It's just going to work better. Okay. So now let's do the bottom. So overlap again. So I cut it a little bit longer because I want to have enough to overlap. And then I'm going to put it on the bottom where this is tied down. We're gonna open these up. Then I'm gonna put this gray in the middle and kind of pull the snowman out to the side. So we can go ahead and kind of get our tails pulled out while we're doing that. So overlap, overlap, pinch in the middle. Okay. Place it down. Tie it off. Tuck it back behind. Okay, and then we want to move our ribbon. So see, then it looks like you have a little bow on top of where the snowman is. Which you do, but you did it in 2 parts. Okay. You can also go ahead, trim off the others, tuck them under. Okay. There we go. Stretch our ribbons out. Trim this off. Okay, there's 1 more, 2 more. Okay. Okay. So don't be shy about overlapping. You don't need a huge loop, but you want to make sure that's not going to come loose later. There we go. Okay. Let's do this last one. And then we can put our sign on. All right, so for our sign, we're going to do a hole at the bottom and a hole at the top. We're also going to use 26 gauge wire. If you don't have one of these, they are in my shop. Okay. Got little sparkly things on it. Okay. And these are called wire hole punches. So I cut about 20 inches on the wire, and this is 26 gauge, so it's a lower gauge. So with wire, the higher the gauge, the thinner the wire. Just to kind of give you an idea. So 18-inch wire is very thick, 26 is very thin. Okay. Alright, and I also like to use a weaving needle. This is a wreath maker's best friend because you can use this just like a needle. It's plastic. You just put your wire in through there and you can push it right down through the mesh, not paying attention. It is not going to hurt the mesh. It's not going to make it fray. It's just going to sit it down there nicely so that you can tie it to the frame, and it makes it so much faster and so much easier. Okay? You want to get it 2 or 3 good times, and you can trim off the excess. Okay, we're going to kind of pull out our ribbons from beneath the sign a little bit. Kind of use them to frame the sign. Remember, you can get that little indentation. That's going to help so it doesn't cross over the sign. Okay. Yeah. It's also going to help hide any wires that we used to put the sign on. But you can see this is why you want wired ribbon. Okay. It's going to help you because you're going to be able to make that ribbon stay where you want it to and not cover your sign. Okay, so let's do this one. Same exact process. Right down through the mesh. So you want to tie it on so that it's not going to come off, but you don't want to squash your mesh or your ribbon. Okay? You want it kind of floating on the surface. Tight enough that it's not going to come off, but kind of just sitting on the mesh. Okay? You see how this ribbon will do the job of hiding where we put that wire. You see there? Oh, look how cute that is. So I shake it, make sure everything's in place. But look how cute with all those little bows on it. You see those? How cute. How cute is that? Okay. So we're going to make a bow. Just in case you want to have a bow to go with your wreath. So I'm just going to trim this to get a dovetail. So remember, we just fold in half and cut towards the edge. We'll do about an 8-inch tail. Okay, place that down. We're going to do about 6 inches right about here. Another one at 6. Okay. Another 6 and another. Okay. There we go. Then we're going to put this on top right here. I like to make these a little longer so that I can curl them. Okay. So both of these at 6 inches. Okay, trim it off. And then we will finish with our focal ribbon, which is our little snowman. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to go a little bit smaller with this ribbon. Let's flip it over. And so we're going to go about 5.5, so about 1/2 inch smaller. Okay, about 5.5. Again. And again. You can go ahead and pull them out. This is an easy bow maker. We do have these available in our shop. And it's just shop hardworkingmom.com. These are a lifesaver. And they're very inexpensive compared to other bow makers. Alright, so we're going to do 5.5 with this one as well. Okay. Alright. Now one thing I want you to notice is these snowmen are going in different directions. So I'm going to twist one. But I'm only going to twist the top because the bottom is actually going down and it's not going to bother it. So I'm going to twist both tops so that they will be right side up. So it's a little different. When you're twisting your ribbons, you want to make sure you know which direction they're going in so that you twist the right ones. Then I thought it would be fun to add this back on top as a little center loop. Okay, so again with the tails, this time we're only going to do one small loop like this. So this is 2 or 3 inches. Okay, it's just a fun way to bring this ribbon back up to the top. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a zip tie, run it under the whole thing. Just need to get it started. And then I'll take a pipe cleaner. I'm going to lightly hold this while I run this zip tie around the back. Okay. So you can see already how it's going to look. Okay. You want to make sure when you're doing your bow that you are getting it where that indentation from the bow maker was. So just kind of double check, make it sure it's in the right place, and then tighten it really good. And then I like to hold all 3 of these pieces while I'm fluffing. So to fluff, you want to start from the back, pull and twist, pull and twist. This is going to help you get a nice big fluff. It's also going to help you get your ribbons where you want them to go. Okay. But you always want to start from the bottom and work your way upward. And there we go. So we've got our little piece in the middle, and then we just pull our tails down, fluff them out, like this. And we can take these and curl them up at an angle and then pull it out. So you're just using your thumbs. Okay. There we go. And there we go. All right, so we have our wreath and our bow. So I hope you enjoyed this. And I will see you again soon in the next video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Bye, y'all.